Welcome back to another episode. After last week's terrible sadness, we meet the JDM God.
Thank you.
He can introduce himself and what we're actually doing at some random shed in Traralgon.
So my name's Chris, and we are donating an engine out of my car for Jory's season. It's a pretty nice one. I think he'll like it. It's sort of similar to what he was going to put in his car anyway, until his engine stuffed up. So he's going to get a nice taste of what's to come.
Similar might not be the word. Do you want to give me a quick rundown on what it actually is? And it might be a little bit more spicy than I was anticipating.
Yeah, so it's just a SR20 VET, just a little 2 litre. I use it for drag racing, so it's got a little power glide behind it, 2-speed power, trans brake, bit of giggle gas to get it up on the converter. I spin it to sort of 10.5, but I don't think Jory's going to need to go that high. We'll turn it down, put a smaller turbo on it, and see where he ends up.
For the record, I think this proposal's ridiculous.
Well, somebody better use it, because it's just been sitting here for a while, and I've got my first kid on the way, so he's going to be occupying me time for a while, so it better off dorting somewhere else than actually being used for what it was built for.
So I'll give you guys a quick walk around to the car. We'll load this thing up. For the record, if it windows the block, not responsible.
Not at all.
Gonna put that on record.
Not at all. If it windows the block, we're going a billet block anyway, so it'll be all good.
That'll be more content for you guys in the future. I want to hear this thing. Let's fire it up.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's the 180. Now we've heard it, we've walked around it. What actually is it? So last time you had it on the dyno, it was pretty spicy. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so it's sitting, when we had it on the dyno, it made about mid 500 kilowatt through the power glide at sort of 9500. We weren't pushing it too hard on the dyno just because we didn't need to. The tune was pretty good. It's running 43 pound of boost.
I don't know where I felt like I get a little drink around here, do you, bud?
It's only got a small converter in it because I did have it registered for a while, so I could drive it on the road and it'd still be pretty nice and friendly on the road.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, we've done, since having the auto in it, we've still been ironing it out and trying to get track days and track time, but we've done a couple of runs in it. I've done a 10.2 at 148 with a horrible 60 foot of about 2.03 seconds. So at the moment, we were going to be taking it down the track and sorting out the 60 foot, but alas, my little kid's going to put a stop to that for a while. So once we can get it back together and back at the track, we'll start working on the suspension and get it going down the track a bit more and see if we can get that 9.
So I think what's going to happen is we're going to have to pull basically the drivetrain out of this thing, the fuel system, the electronics. I'll use all the intercooler piping, so going to make it as close to a representation of your package as possible, just to try and make it reliable, because you know, we all know how my things go. It hasn't been great so far. So we'll get this thing loaded on the trailer. Crisp high five. All right, so it's a couple of days later and it's still sitting on the trailer. Anyone who's going to offer what is potentially a $35,000 engine, and I don't even know how many horsepower, probably a 700 horsepower engine, is going to be a friend for life. So I had an instance where someone, I broke their car and it drove a wedge between us, even though it was discussed previously or whatever. And I've decided I don't want to do that between me and Chris. He's a close friend. And honestly, I just thank him from the bottom of my heart for offering. Yeah, can you imagine someone who'd do that for you? Because it's pretty incredible. So I don't think we're going to go this route. Yeah, it's crazy to think that someone would even do that for me. Maybe we can make mine sound like this one day, or maybe the SR's just at its limit. You know, this thing's a drag car, has to run for 8 seconds, not 80 minutes. So I don't know if we can one day make my car sound like this thing, or maybe not. Let's just quickly, we'll fire it up. We'll say see you to Chris's SR, and then we'll end this video. So once again, massive thank you to Chris. Obviously this entire video is premised around me using his engine, which, you know, could go one or two ways. It could be incredible and we could have a 700 horsepower engine for the rest of the year and go out and slay tires, or we could not, and we could break it, and then I've got a bench full of parts already that are broken. I don't need a second one with that hanging over my head and trying to maintain a friendship. So like I said earlier, massive thank you to Chris. Anyone that's going to offer that sort of stuff is a friend for life, so I don't want to wreck that, but it'd be a shame not to show you guys the beautiful 180SX. And ultimately, not sure what we're going to do with my junk, whether we get another block, string it back together. Like, it's not going to be in a hurry because no good decision was made in a rush. Equally, we have to do something at some point. So is it going to be an engine swap? Is it going to be the same engine with the VVL head and not broken? Can it hack it? Can a VVL engine hack 600 horsepower for a year? Some say yes. Some say I'm crazy. Some say I'm crazy doing what I'm doing. It seems to be above 300 kilowatts is just danger to SR. Is that even, I don't know. I'm just struggling. So some of you will have noticed an RB in the corner as well. KA RB SR 37 litre tank engine. Who knows? So thanks for watching, guys. Tell your mum to subscribe. Massive thank you to Chris, and we'll catch you in a future episode when I'm doing stuff.